This is CryptoTube. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Grayscale BTC unlocks, the price action from today, and what is coming up later this week. I'm also going to show you where I'm focusing some attention right now to see if I can make some additional gains in the market whilst most coins are just going down and down and down. So if you appreciate the content in today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also join my Patreon, a link down below. So this week we could essentially call it the Grayscale week. Everything seems to be around Grayscale leading into this event with the big unlock that occurred just 2 days ago on the 17th of July. It seemed like the crypto markets went entirely flat, absolutely no volume, everyone just waiting on tenterhooks to see what the Grayscale unlock would actually do. Of course, that big one occurred on the weekend, and typically these guys aren't going to be doing any activities over the weekend. They're the Monday to Friday clan, and so we were waiting until today to see the effects of that big unlock. Also today from Grayscale, they've launched their own DeFi index fund, which is rather bullish for crypto in general. The fact that they want to get their accredited investors into the DeFi space with their own index fund. On top of this, one of the co-founders, Michael, was on the news, I believe it was CNBC, and he was talking about a Grayscale ETF, and he said it's a matter of when and not if at this moment in time. So an ETF coming for Grayscale at some point, a new index fund launched, but of course the main story is the GBTC unlocks. So on the 17th, which was Saturday, there was a huge unlock, 16,000 BTC worth of these Grayscale shares, and this meant that there was going to be some volatility in the market. Leading up to a big event like this, you're going to expect volatility. People were just playing it very cautious up to this moment in time, and it was clear to see from crypto Twitter, on YouTube, everyone was looking at this as a big major event for a catalyst, and that catalyst was going to cause prices to move either up or down. So everyone has been looking towards this big unlock for a volatile move in the market, and it has come today. Not super volatile, could have been worse. But there has been obviously a price decline for BTC. The next one after this massive unlock was today on the 19th. So we've had these two big unlocks come into play today on Monday the 19th. And from here on out, these are a lot smaller going into the rest of the week, the following week, and then about 2 more weeks after that. So the majority of the GBTC unlocks are now done. This was the real big area of interest. And so this is how the Bitcoin price chart reacted. Now, this could be a combination of factors. We've got the unlocks here, but also we had the S&P 500 and generally the stock markets taking a little bit of a tumble here with a correction. They were down 3%. So this is definitely a factor that would affect the crypto markets. Crypto is clearly a more speculative asset. So any holders of equities typically have a crypto portfolio as well. And if things start to take a tumble in the equities market, they're obviously going to sell off their more high risk assets, the crypto as well. So if we factor this in, a 3% drawdown in stocks, and then around a 2% drawdown in Bitcoin with the GBTC unlocks probably coming into effect today in a big way, this is clearly negative. It's bearish. The price is just continually going down at the moment. But a lot of people were expecting a major nuke today. And there was a moment in time earlier, I was watching the 1 minute chart here, and I was just watching the price go down and down and down and down. And it was like watching your favorite pub burn down in front of your eyes. We got to this point down here around 30,500, and then it did seem to find a floor. Clearly a little bit too early to be calling that right now. Since then, we've ranged around this 30,600 to 30,700 region quite a bit. So all eyes on this chart over the coming days. I think this is a big week for Bitcoin in general. If we can hold on to the 30K region and maintain that as a support after this week with all that's been going on with Grayscale, and if we see continued downturns across the equities market and Bitcoin can hold 30K, that will be a very positive sign. So at this moment now, I'm looking at this 30K region, and if we can hold on to it, clearly that will be good. The fact that there's a lot of air below us here is rather scary. This is why people are calling for very low prices, 18K, 20K I've heard. Some saying that it won't go below around 25, which would be around this point around here. But the fact of the matter is there's a lot of air down here. We didn't spend a lot of time finding our feet on the way up. We just chugged up consistently for months and months on end. But at this moment, we've had a lot of wicks down to the 30K region. I just pull up the candles. And so 30K has been an area of support on numerous occasions right now. There's been wicks below it, but this kind of price region has been kind to Bitcoin for the last month or so, plus going back over to here, early January, we have a few candle body closes around 30K as well. So the fact of the matter is, if we can maintain 30K, this will be a very significant level for Bitcoin going forward in its history as well. But if we do close below this, you can expect us to drop considerably, as there's no real points of support until we get to that mid 20K region. Looking around online, different analysts reckon different things. Some think we're going to wick below 30K for a temporary point, as they believe there's a lot of buyers below 30K. Others are calling for those really, really low numbers. So a lot of uncertainty in the market, which of course is not very good for us as crypto investors, and especially those who are holding on to their crypto assets. And with this choppy price action and a lot of uncertainty, it means the altcoins are getting smashed right now. So a quick look across CoinGecko, you can see that over the last 7 days, Bitcoin's down around 10%, Ethereum down 14%, Binance 11%, Cardano 16%, and then some major blood here for the likes of Polkadot 25%, Uniswap similarly 24%, and also Solana, even Chainlink around 20% in the red. And so this is not a good time for the altcoins. And this choppy period for Bitcoin around this level, every time we drop to the low 30s, the altcoins bleed out even more and more and more. So what I'm looking at this moment in time is that if we start closing below this 30K region, is a high probability we're going to go a lot lower. And if Bitcoin goes lower, the altcoins will go even lower than that. So that would be a point at which I would have to exit the altcoin positions and preserve as much cash as possible, as this could get very bloody very quickly. So just want to keep you up to date with what I'm thinking in the market right now. Clearly over the last few weeks, it looked like we were going to have some opportunities to test the upper ranges. We looked at the wick-off schematic, but nothing has been to any avail as of yet. But key level of support here at 30K, and we will wait to see if that does get breached or not. But fingers crossed we can hold this as a support level, and this will be very, very significant for Bitcoin. Checking in on my man for TA over here, Rekt Capital. It was all pretty much negative today. ETH has lost its 2021 higher low trend line, as you can see from this chart here. Bitcoin lost its 2021 higher low, Bitcoin lost a multi-week higher low, and Bitcoin lost the 50-week EMA as support, as you can see from this chart here. So it was between both the 50-week EMA and the 21-week EMA, and then it's actually broken below that. So the weekly close was pretty bad for Bitcoin yesterday, but a bit of hopium here. Whenever Bitcoin bulls get euphoric, it's usually a good time to critically question such sentiment. And the same goes for bearish sentiment. Wherever Bitcoin bears are experiencing bearish euphoria, it's usually a good time to critically question such sentiment. And to be honest with you, the timeline at this moment on Twitter, looking up videos on YouTube, everything is bear, 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 which makes you feel like you kind of want to counter trade the market right now, but the TA just is not looking good enough. But what have we got on the horizon this week? We have this, the B Word conference, and we've got some very notable speakers here, including Mr. Elon Musk, also Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, and the likes of Lynn Alden, all people I really like in the industry in terms of their crypto understanding and knowledge. But the fact that Musk is speaking could potentially mean we have some bullish news from Tesla. I can't really imagine a scenario where he's going to come onto a Bitcoin-based conference and shoot down any hopes of Tesla accepting Bitcoin again, or him coming on and saying Tesla's going to dump their remaining Bitcoins. I think if anything, there's going to be maybe some positive news out of this. I don't want to try and get my hopes up too much about this. This is on Wednesday, the 21st of July, but I will register here and watch along on the day just to keep up to date with exactly what's going on and see if there is any gem bits of news to cover here and let you guys know exactly what's been said. And this could be potentially a point at which we could see some positive sentiment for Bitcoin once again. Been so much bearish news right now, a lot of bearish sentiment right now. Is it time for a turnaround in that sentiment? I also went through the Glassnode's weekly document. Here, there's a summary of the bear case and the bull case for Bitcoin. I just want to go over really quick. So the bear case for Bitcoin right now is that the market is trading at the low end of a high on-chain volume cluster. And this means that below like this 31K or 30K region and 18K, there's very little support. We haven't spent a lot of time building up levels of support at any of those price points in between. As I mentioned, the GBTC discounts still persist, and this seems like a lackluster amount of institutional demand as a result, which is of course negative. You want the institutions to be piling in. Maybe this speaks to the fact that this is now the summer and many of these institutional players may well be holidaying somewhere very nice right now. The on-chain activity, so volumes and entities, remain significantly down. So this is just saying that utilization of the Bitcoin network has gone down. The block space is not being utilized fully. And so we're seeing less settlement on the blockchain. And now there are also a lot of coins that are currently in a loss. So 6.2 million Bitcoins currently held are at an unrealized loss. So they say that these coins may well form overhead resistance and sell pressure going forwards. But of course, for every bear, there is a bull. So the bull case here, there is net entity growth. This means that more wallets are being created and Bitcoin being deposited into. So this is definitely a positive thing. We're seeing adoption of nations. We're seeing the adoption of very small holders. There was minnow holders with like 0.1 to 1 BTC. Those numbers are still going up, which is a positive thing. Exchanges have seen continued net outflows. And this has been since mid-May. So since the big price correction, there has been a net outflow of Bitcoin. So the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is going down, which is a positive thing. Miners are still in a net accumulation. So many people feared that there would be continued miner sell-off with the migration of all these Chinese miners. That has not been the case. And they're actually holding on. So people are expecting, if they're holding on, they're not selling. They expect higher prices as the hash rate returns. And then for long-term holders and bull market holders, they appear to be unshaken by volatility and these lower prices. And it says that the volume of coins held in a liquid state continues to grow, and the potential supply squeeze is coming from a much higher base than the 1819 bear. This demonstrates the remarkable conviction of Bitcoin holders to weather extreme volatility. And you have to pose the question, who the hell is selling their Bitcoin at these prices right now? I'm certainly not, and I'm sure most of you guys aren't either. Now, what am I doing in the market right now? I'm looking at NFTs. I've been spending quite a lot of time on OpenSea. I'm going to do a video tomorrow on OpenSea just to do an explainer of how it works, how you can try and find different NFTs, digital art, that kind of thing. Some of these are just flying up in price. I covered Bored Apes last week on the channel. The floor price at that point was around 3.5, 3.6 Ethereums. It's now up to 6.65. So I'm kicking myself I didn't splash out and buy one, but of course, spending $7,000 on a picture of an ape is kind of a hard decision to make. So I've been looking at a lot cheaper ones, new ones that you can mint, and then you can hope for this kind of price appreciation. I think this is kind of a potential one-off. The Bored Apes are doing very, very well, and they could be one that really grows like CryptoPunks. But we're trying to find the next gems, mint them early, hold on to them for a few months, and see if you can flip them for a nice Ethereum profit. And in terms of areas in the market where profit is being made, this is one of the few places where it is being made. And when you have all these guys who are investing in these projects, making bank, they're rolling their money over into the next project. So you got that hot ball of money effect. And I'm sure that there will still be a trickle down effect of these new NFTs, the ape kind of rip-offs, and the people who are just changing little things here, maybe not doing apes, but doing aliens, for example, is one of the ones I'm looking at. Some of these could potentially do very well, and it could see you make gains. And making gains in a market like this is very much welcomed and will give you more ammunition for later in the year when we should be ticking back up again. So I hope you enjoyed this update today. Bitcoin at 30K needs to hold, needs to maintain support around there, and this could be a God tier level for Bitcoin. If we can just manage to hold 30K, this is going to go down as a historical price point. In terms of the on-chain metrics, we've got a bull and a bear case. A lot of people are seeing the charts as very bearish right now. Of course, things are just continuing to go down, but the question is, how long will this last for? And then finally, just going over my plan to buy NFTs and flip them to make more Ethereum. Stay tuned for all that coming up. More videos on that this week starting tomorrow. So if you enjoy that kind of content, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.